Good morning, everyone. It is Remy with Dream Living Homestead. Now, I got a bunch of cherry tomatoes and a bunch of regular tomatoes, but was looking at different ways that we could go ahead and preserve them. So first I'm going to go ahead and show you how much I have. I'm going to do some of the batch in my dehydrator and then also some of the batch in my, or as a quick pickle recipe. I want to give that a shot and see how that tastes. So here's a look. Right, so this is what I got from my girlfriend at work. Now there were some bigger ones in here, but I don't think that they were enough. I was debating on canning them and making some tomato sauce, but I just don't think it's enough. So, and I've not dehydrated any tomatoes. I've done oranges, I've done lemons, and I've done some blueberries. Actually, here's what I got here going so far. These are pineapples. Lemons, oranges, and I think that's pretty much it. I think I did some blueberries too, but oh yeah, they're in the very back right there. Blueberries back there. So this is my little pantry of canning stuff. As you can see, I've got preserved lemons, some apple butter. Not sure why that's there. I think my kids put some away. And then I also did just regular apples and can these for some future use. I'm not sure what I would do with those, but you know, I've got time to think about it. Some broth, which I need to refill on. Some pickles. I don't know what this is. Getting rid of that. Some tomatoes. And then up here I have pinto beans, some potatoes, some ground beef, and then I believe that is either chicken or pork. One of the two. I got some more downstairs, but I'm actually slowly but surely converting this into my canning area. I wish I had a bigger pantry, but I really don't. So, but that's what I got going so far, saved up. I am excited about these. I've actually had to give away a couple of these because there's just so many lemons. I don't know what to do with them, but they'll work out for me. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. I'm going to look through my spice cabinet and see if I've got any basil already dried out and thyme, and if not, maybe see if I've got some Italian seasoning in there that I can put over the tomatoes while they're dehydrating. Okay, so I have a Nesco food hydrator, and then I've also got several trays. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4 trays, and then the bottom part. Now, I didn't have any Italian seasoning, but I did find some dried oregano. I put salt, pepper, and a little bit of sugar to put over the tomatoes once they're in the dehydrator. Okay, so I'm actually also going to throw some of the bigger tomatoes and slice those up and use those to dehydrate. And then I also forgot, I got a bunch of lemons from someone again. I'm going to dehydrate those too along with that. So I'm going to try and separate them all out. My dogs will eat anything. So here's some of the tomato that I didn't use. Nola. At least they're eating healthy. Here, baby girl. I've got as much as I can cut up onto or fit onto this dehydrator. All I gotta do is turn it on, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Try to have them spaced out, and I do try to cut them as evenly as possible. I don't have, I think it's called a mandolin. I'm not sure. It's like a little slicer. I may eventually invest into that, but here are the trays. And I was off by 1 tray, so I only have 4 trays, and then 3 trays and then the bottom, but I will eventually get more. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on, plug it in, and then just turn it on. Now this doesn't have a setting for vegetables or anything like that, so I just come up every so often, every few hours, and check on it to make sure that everything is good. And if it has dehydrated enough, I will then pull off and then put them into jars. Okay guys, it is now day 2. I got my first batch of the tomatoes already dehydrated. I'll show you what I've kept, but I kind of ate some of them. They were really good. The flavor is super intense, but I'll show you what they look like at the end. I do have another batch behind me that is now dehydrating along with some lemons, but I also, what I went ahead and did was I used some of the bigger tomatoes and sliced those up, and that's what I was using. I swear they are so good. I think I'm gonna grab the kale and try that too. I heard kale chips are really, really good. But the other thing that we're doing with the cherry tomatoes is we're gonna pickle these. I heard they're good with, you know, snacking in your salads and things like that. But along with that bag that I got full of all those tomatoes, or all those cherry tomatoes, was one pickle, and then a few peppers, which I think I might like poke a hole in them and stick them in the pickling sauce, or yeah, pickling sauce, I guess is what you want to say. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and clean all the stems off of the cherry tomatoes. I have done most of it already, and then we're gonna stick a hole in them to make sure that the pickling brine does infuse these tomatoes, because getting through the skin, I hear, is a bit difficult, so the flavor doesn't get into it to help preserve them. So I'm gonna set up and you guys are gonna see what I'm gonna do. Say hi. All right, so I got everything cut up and put into the separate jars. I was able to do 3. I did save a couple of the tomatoes because I'm gonna use those for some more dehydrating, because I'm telling you guys, you have to try it. It is so good. I was eating them all day like it was nothing, like it was candy. So I don't know what I was doing with my life before the dehydrator. Anywho, so the recipe that I got calls for a cup and a third of white vinegar. You'll get 1 cup of water, a 1/3 cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of pickling salt. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get it on the stove, you're gonna cook it until everything dissolves, take it off the heat for 10 minutes, and then pour it over your jars, or your cherry tomatoes and whatnot you have in your jars. And you'll want to let that pickle for 2 days before you actually touch them. I personally have a hard time waiting, so I'll probably end up grabbing or dipping into them tomorrow, but we'll see. I'll try and show some restraint. But I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, guys, here are the 2 ways that I preserved those cherry tomatoes. As you can see, with one of the, there was 1 pickle or cucumber in there, so I went ahead and threw that in there. And I tried to change up the color a little bit. You can see a couple of the green tomatoes in there. I also threw 1 of these peppers into each one of them. And because I am a firm believer that you should experiment with your food, I went ahead and took some thyme and rosemary and a little bit of dill from my garden, threw it into the pickling recipe, or pickling sauce, and let it cook there. And I did remove them before I went ahead and added the brine to, or the pickling sauce to the can. So that is it. Okay, guys, that was it. It's the 2 ways that you can preserve your tomatoes if you have a large batch. Pickling seemed to be the easiest. The dehydrating part is also very easy. It just takes forever. So eventually I will upgrade, but that is a great dehydrator. It just, I mean, I feel like it takes a long time, and sometimes it doesn't seem to get to the top ring that I have there and dehydrate that as quickly as I'd like. Anyways, if you guys like this video, there's another suggestion up top that you guys can click on. Also, down below is a subscribe button. Please hit that and hit the bell icon for future dings on when we make videos. I do throw a video out every Wednesday and Sunday. Sometimes I'll add another one, which I did last week. There was 2 parts to my garden tour. So I hope you guys have a great start to your week. Thanks for stopping by.